Okay, a very good afternoon, everyone. So in today's session, we are going to understand how to perform penetration testing using tools like Network Mapper and Metasploit and various other like OpenVAS, Open Vulnerability Scanners. There are so many tools with which you can perform penetration testing. So now let's say you have a server at one end and you have an attacker at the other end. So attacker can enumerate the target about what operating system it's running, what all ports are available over there, what all applications are running, so that he can exploit that application and can get shell access of the remote target. Okay. To do that, we are going to use an AWS server, and we are going to perform our scanning from our local machines using the tools like nmap and Zenmap. Nmap is a command line tool, and Zenmap is the graphical user interface of the tool, which we will be accessing. So let's get started with the session. I'm sharing my screen here with all the participants here. So to quickly start, we'll proceed with the concept of port scanning using nmap, Zenmap, and understanding the network stats. So let's go for it. Now, before proceeding further, I would like to give you a quick introduction to what nmap is and how you're going to use it. So as you have the fair idea of penetration testing, that we connect to a machine over a shell and you understand the life cycle of how to hack a mobile device, as well as how to hack a remote Windows machine or a Linux machine, and you can transfer the shells. So now you need to move out to nmap, wherein you need to understand about the following features. So we have to quickly get started with how to install nmap, how to use nmap and Zenmap, understanding the port states, what all port states are available, like if a port is listening for a connection, or if a connection is established, if the connection is waiting. So what all options are available, we have to explore that. Then we are going to perform scanning with Network Mapper. Then we are going to understand the differences between TCP scans and UDP scans and what is the benefit of every individual scan. Then you are going to enumerate the target operating system and the services running on that remote machine. Then you have to fine tune the scans so that it is not identified or blocked by the firewalls, and you should be able to scan and enumerate the targets appropriately. And finally, there are some scripts available in nmap, which are like automated scripts written in Lua programming language, using which you can quickly perform and automate your scanning task. Because scanning could be a tedious work, because there could be a big server along with there would be multiple sub-servers available. So you can automate the process, you can automate your scripts. Okay, so we are going to perform all that stuff here. Now, when it comes to installation, it's very easy. You can quickly go to the installation section over here. If you're using Linux machine, you can quickly use apt-get install nmap, and you're going to get the nmap installed on your local machine. So before we proceed further, let's quickly get access to an AWS server. So we'll quickly go to console.aws.amazon.com. And I would like to access a machine, which is going to be our server machine. So let us just sign up. So I'm here on the management console, and I would like to create a server which will be running on US, and we are going to enumerate that using our client machine. Okay, so we don't have a running instance as of now. Let me just quickly create an instance and we'll run that instance. So I would like to create Kali Linux operating system from AWS Marketplace. Okay, I'll quickly start a machine with various certain ports running. I would like to go for a quick tier. So I'm going to create a general purpose free tier eligible machine, and I would like to enable the ports because we are scanning the ports. So 1 to 65,535. These ports will be available. We're going to review and launch. We like to specify that they will connect, they will accept the connections from all. and we'll quickly launch the instance. I would like to create a new key pair, and let's call it as Devanshu underscore machine AWS. Let's download the key pair. I've got that file downloaded under downloads. Now, once it is downloaded, I'm going to launch the instances. By the time instances gets ready, I'm going to extract the PPK from my PEM file. So you can see that the instances are now launching, and we'll go to the view instances page, wherein we'll get the IP address of the public server. Okay, now here. So this is the IP address of the public server, 34.226.142.92. So I'll use puttygen to quickly extract. Sorry, I don't want to generate it. Instead, I'll load the PEM key, and I'm going to extract. So use putty generator. You have to load your script. Go to the downloads. Search for your PEM files, devanshuaws.pem. The script has been loaded. I'm going to change the comment to hack weather. Passphrase will be ABCDE 1 2 3 4 5. ABCDE 1 2 3 4 5. And I would like to save the private key. So I'll save the private key under C drive SC 2019, or else in the downloads itself. Let me save it. I'm going to call it as Devanshu underscore AWS.ppk.putty private key. I'll quickly save it. So once we have got this file ready, now we are going to connect to this server 34.226.142.92. I'll quickly go to putty, and I'm going to connect to EC2-user at 34.226.142. Okay, we'll go to SSH. We'll authenticate with the key. We'll go to downloads. I'm going to select devanshuaws.ppk. I'm going to change the appearance. It should be like Lucida console. I would like to use with 36 font size, or else 20 font size would also do. So I'll click on OK. Click on open the connection. Say yes. And we are going to define the password ABCDE 1 2 3 4 5. So now we are logged into the server, that is a Kali Linux server, which will be running uname -a. So this is the server. Okay. Now, what we are going to do, let me just quickly go to a simulator wherein I'm going to draw that for you. So over the simulator, let's say we have a network cloud available over here. On one hand side, I'll be having a server. Let us consider this server as a Kali Linux server or something. Okay. On one hand side, we'll be having this. So you can consider this machine here. There will be a local machine available over here. Is that clear? And you can have Zenmap. So you're going to install Zenmap graphical user interface from the server, but let me just put it here. Using this, we are going to scan the network and scan the machine. Okay. So let's say we have a client, we have a server. So if I annotate that for you, so let's say this server is connected with a network, and this is connected with a shell. And in the same way, this is your host machine, and this is your server machine, which you need to extract. I'll save that image for you so that we can use it for analysis purposes. Now, is that clear? So now here, let me just open that image for you. So here is the image. which we will be using. Now, so first, let us understand the server side. So when it comes to the server side, this is the IP address of the server, 34.226.142.92. Okay. So I just define it over here. This is going to be the server address, which we have to scan. And we have to identify what all ports are open on the remote machine so that we can hack that shell. On the left-hand side, you will be having a Zenmap, or else you can have an installed nmap version as well. Okay. So suppose if you're using a Linux machine, what you can do is you can quickly go for apt get install. Okay. So let's say if you're on a Linux machine, what you can quickly do is you can quickly install that using apt get install, and you can apply sudo and you can specify nmap. So on a Linux machine, nmap is by default available. As well as if you would like to install for Windows, then you can quickly go to Windows Server here, and you can quickly search for nmap. Or you can also install Zenmap, download, and it will automatically install the command line version as well. So when you search for Zenmap, it takes you to this URL, Zenmap official cross-platform nmap security scanner graphical user interface, which you need to access. And you can quickly download that from nmap.org/Zenmap. Okay, let's click over it. Now, when you go here, you have certain screenshots available, and there is an option to download. So just you have to come here and you have to click over the download option. Okay, click on download, and you will be redirected to the download page. So here you have the nmap 7.0 setup for Windows, nmap 7.7 setup for executable. Let's click on this setup. Once you download, you're going to get the setup file. You have to go next, install. When you open that, it's going to show you the next install, and that stuff will be done. Okay. Now, once it is installed, you can quickly go to the Zenmap, and you're going to get an interface somewhat like this. Is that clear? So guys, you can quickly get started with the download. Now here, there are certain sections. First section you have here is a target section, wherein you are going to define the host which you want to scan. Then you can define the type of scan which you want to perform. There are different types of scans possible. Then whatever scan you will be doing in, a command will automatically be specified over here. You can also test that with a command line console as well as with graphical user interface. Then the devices and the hosts which you are scanning, they will be listed over here, along with the output of the scan, the port and the host, the topology, the details, the number of scans you have performed. Every information will be displayed to you here in the tab view. Is that clear? Now, so we'll quickly go for the different types of scans which are available, as well as it's not just you can do it graphically. You will be able to do that using command line as well. Okay. So not just graphically, you can scan your machines with command line options as well. So if I open command prompt, so once you install the graphical version, it will also install a command line version as well for you. Okay, this is nmap-h. So a command line version for nmap will also be available over here. which is the latest version, nmap 7 from the website nmap.org. So you can perform a command line scan, along with you can do that with a graphical user interface. And on the right hand side, you may be having your server available, which is hosted at server 34 point something or something or something. Okay. Now we have to perform these scans. So let's quickly organize the windows in a way so that we can quickly check back what's happening. Okay. So I have this command prompt available over here, using which we will be performing the scan. So on the left hand side, you have a target machine. Let's say you have a fresh machine as of now, which you have just installed. Okay. So you can perform various types of scans from here just to check what all ports are open when you initially create a server. Okay. Now let's see. So first thing which we will be doing once we're done with the setup, you can have the command line installation as well as you can have the graphical installation available like the Zenmap. This is the initial screen interface of the Zenmap. Now you need to understand about various port states. Okay. So what could be a port state? So a remote port which you're going to scan with nmap could be open. The open state indicates that an application on the target system is actively listening for connections, packets on that port. Okay. It could be closed as well, which means the closed state indicates there isn't any application listening on that port. However, the port state could change to open in the future. Then you have the filtered state. The filtered state indicates that either a firewall, a filter, or some kind of network hurdle is blocking the port, and hence nmap isn't able to determine whether it is open or closed. Then you have an unfiltered state. The unfiltered state indicates that ports are responding to nmap problems and map probes. However, if it isn't possible to determine whether they are open or closed. Then it could be open filtered. The open filtered state indicates that the port is either filtered or open. However, nmap isn't precisely able to determine the state. Finally, it could be a closed or a filtered state. The closed filtered state indicates that the port is either filtered or closed. However, nmap isn't precisely able to determine the state. Okay. So कुछ states हैं. It could be an open port. It could be a closed port. Filtered हो सकता है. Unfiltered हो सकता है. Open filtered भी दिखा सकता है. Closed filtered भी दिखा सकता है. Okay. These are certain states which you will get to see. Now, basic nmap scan. How can we get started with scanning? So what you can do is you can scan on a single IP address with the -sn option. You can use nmap, you can use -sn, and you can define the target IP address which you want to scan. So this scan is known as a basic ping scan on a single target. Okay. What does a ping scan do? So a ping scan will not check for any open ports. However, it will tell you whether the target is alive. Okay. This means it will tell you whether the target is open or not, whether it is on or not. Basic ping scan से मतलब वो ping करता है, ping करके check कर लेता है कि वो remote machine चल रही है या नहीं, active है या बंद है. But this is a very old kind of scan. Okay. So try करते हैं हम पहले सबसे पहले एक ping scan से, that how the ping scan works. So let's go for the server. Sorry. So let's go with this state. हम यहाँ पे एक basic ping scan perform करेंगे. आपके पास जो target है वो है 34.226.142.92. You can quickly select the scan from here. We can say we are going to perform a ping scan. As soon as I select the ping scan, you can see that automatically -sn option is selected over here. I can quickly start scanning, and you can see that the scan has begun. and it says IP address is up. This means the remote IP address 34.226.142.92 is alive, is active. Because we can see that on the right hand side, the server is running. We have a server and its state is running at the moment. Okay. Now, you can also do the ping scan via command line nmap-sn, and you can quickly define that I would like to check the IP address 34.226.142.92 just to check whether this is running. So it says yes, IP address is running. The host is up. Is that clear? You can quickly check back with the scan. Now what next you can do? Apart from ping scan, let's quickly go to the next option, wherein you're done with the ping scan. The next is a basic scan on an entire subnet. Okay. So what you can do is, instead of the IP address, you can define the subnet address to specify the scan. Now what could be a subnet? You can define an IP address, and with the dash option, you can define the minimum IP address and the maximum IP address so as to check the complete devices running. Okay. Let's say हमारे पास एक remote server is running on 34.something.something.something, and I want to check on that same IP range how many hosts are active. Okay. So that we can quickly check back. We can also go for a check in the local network as well. Let's say I'm in a local network and I want to check how many host machines are up within my network. So I'm connected to a LAN network, let's say. I may be having multiple machines over here. I'm going to check my IP and I'll get to see that it may be 192.168.something.something. And I want to check the entire subnet in my local area network, what all machines are active. Okay, let's try that. So if I go to the command prompt here, and if I show you the IP address, IP config, I'll quickly check the IP configuration. So I have my IP configuration as 192.168.1.4 on my Ethernet connection because I'm connected with LAN as of now. Okay. So from 192.168.1.0, the entire subnet will mean 192.168.1.0 to 255. So I would like to check all the machines which are connected in the same network and how many machines are up. Okay, so that we can quickly check back with the ping scan. Is that clear? So let's quickly do that. So here you're going to define the target subnet. Okay, 0 to 255. So let's go for it. Let's quickly check back. Okay. So I'm going to define it like this here. Clear it. Okay. So I'm going to define, let's say on my local machine 192.168.1.0 to 255. And I would like to perform the ping scan on it. Okay. So now I'm targeting from 0 to 255. So I got to see that 1.1, 1.5, 1.4. Quickly I've got that there is one more machine known as 1.5 which is also active in the net. You may be connected with Wi-Fi. Just check with nmap how many hosts are up. So on the left hand side, now you can see that till now I've checked about 4 hosts. An EC2 server, as well as a modem 1.1, 1.4 which is my machine, and 1.5 there is one more host which is available. Is that clear? The same way we can do that in nmap. Nmap in command line version -sn, and you can define 192.168.1.0 to 255. So you can perform a complete subnet scan. Okay. So you can see that 1.6 is now also up. Something like Chiconi Electronics. 1.5 is also up. 1.1 is also up. Okay. There are multiple hosts which are up now. Okay. Is that clear? Now, so now we got to see that we have got different hosts running. Let's proceed with the next stuff. So these are the basic ping scans. Now what you can do is you can scan using a file as well. So instead of sending a ping request, because most of the times on a remote machine, firewalls deny ping requests. Okay, they deny ping requests. They say if somebody is trying to check with a ping scan, the firewall will deny that. Okay, is that clear? So how it can be done, let's say. So I'm going to show you one basic stuff here. Let's say you can configure firewall of a server on a remote machine using IP tables. In a Linux machine, IP tables deny ping scan. Okay. So we'll block the pings with IP tables. IP table is like a firewall on a Linux machine. Okay, the default firewall. So what you can do is you have the IP tables installed, and you can execute this command, wherein you can define if there's an input packet coming, and the packet type is an ICMP packet, and the ICMP packet request contains an echo request. Okay, then you reject that. -J option says you reject that. Okay, is that clear? So we'll quickly do that. So now what I'll do, let's say I have my server over here. This is my server. Already I checked with this server 32 dot something. When I check that and I click on ping scan, it says the host is running. Okay. If I do nmap -sn with over this server, so it says the host is active. But now if I configure IP tables, I say I check if IP tables are installed here, IP tables -h. So yes, IP tables are available over here. I'm configuring the server to deny the ping requests, and I'll show you the options as well. IP tables -h. Okay. So IP tables have following options: -a to append which chain would you like to use, followed by jump to the output. The jump will take you to the reject chain, which means we are going to reject the packet. And then there will be certain options like -p, -v, which you will take. Okay. So now, so let's just define an IP rule. So I'm going to define IP tables. I'm going to use sudo options as well because we are in the local user as of now. Sudo IP tables -a. Select the incoming chain and the packet type as ICMP, and the ICMP type will be an echo request, which I'll quickly cross back with the IP tables code here. ICMP type as an echo request, and I'm going to use option -j to send it to the reject shell. Okay. And you can check all the IP tables rules. So as of now, I have denied incoming requests to my server. Okay. This is known as OS hardening as well. There will be a lot of policies which you will be implementing in to protect your server, because by default these are not listed. Okay. So there will be an option to show all the rules. IP tables let's take up the help option, and to quickly check back how we can quickly check all the rules. Okay. -i, -r, -h, rule number, rule specifications, long short append, check, delete, list. List the rules in a chain or all chains. Okay. You can use list or else the list rules. These are the two options. You can define the chain, or else you can use list rules, and it will print the rules in a chain or all the chains. Okay. And if you want to delete the rules, you can use flush option. Okay. So I'll use IP tables -- list rules, and we need to put in sudo as well. So as of now, you can see that input is accepting, forward is accepting, output is accepting, and these were the three rules which were by default available: accept incoming, forwarding, and output packets. But I have created one more rule. If somebody is trying to send an ICMP request, I'm going to block it. Okay, this rule is defined over here. Now we'll check. So अब हम check करेंगे. हमने अपना Zenmap open किया, हमने अपना scanner open किया. Now I did nmap-sn, and the IP address is 34.226.142.92. It's nmap. Okay. Still says it's up, which means I need to configure it a little appropriately, because it is still not rejecting. Okay, so we'll do again, just test, block all the ICMP requests coming in, IP tables -- list rules. So you can quickly check back with the way what all options are available. So we took the packet instead of echo request. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll use IP tables flush. Let's remove all the rules first, and again I'm going to define one more rule. Sudo IP tables -a input -p ICMP -j drop. You can use drop as well as I'll define reject. Both I have defined, and I'm going to check the rules. Sudo IP tables -- list rules. So I've got a drop as well as a reject. So in case if I get an ICMP packet, so if it is rejected, it will show port unreachable. If it's dropped, it's going to block it. Okay. So again, I have defined the server, and I will do one more thing, like source --rc, just to refresh it. Okay, I've just refreshed this as well. Let's just quickly test that now. nmap-sn 34.226.142.92. Still showing up. No problem, I'll check back. Okay. IP tables -- list rules. If A is an input, okay, we'll just check that कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. I think दो अलग-अलग chains हैं. देख लेते हैं. ठीक है, एक और है यहाँ पे, echo request. Then add the following in order to block ping without printing an error message. That's a drop message. हमने already tried, but still it is trying to list in the rules. If any of the rules is blocking ping, you can simply remove that rule as follows, and you can use the delete command. Okay, not a problem. We'll quickly check back. Okay, एक बार दोबारा check कर लेते हैं. Sometimes it happens कि restart और reboot वाला issue हो जाता है. Okay, sudo IP tables, but the rule has been specified, so it should work. I'll flush the others first. --flush, and let me just push it again. So I've specified a new rule with option -L. Okay, so here in the input chain I've got कि अगर कहीं से भी ICMP की रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है तो उसे आप ICMP echo request दे दो. I think the target also has to be dropped because शायद उसकी वजह से भी conflict हो सकता है. ठीक है, क्योंकि एक chain जो है ऊपर it is accepting the packets. Okay, it could be possible, so we'll check back. Let's do that. I think it is the first rule. We have the chain policy. In fact, we have defined the appropriate chain. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just check once कि क्यों ये rule update नहीं हो रहा है. Okay. Maybe I guess we'll quickly restart it and check. We'll go here. We'll go to the action instance state. We'll reboot the instance. Or else you can stop and you can start again and check. Sometimes it requires a restart, but when we have entered the rule, it should work actually. Maybe there could be a conflict of the two. That we'll quickly check back out. Okay, so the instance is running now, and I'm again testing that. Yeah, so now you can see that now it is not able to scan it. Oh, maybe the IP address would have changed after the stop and start. Yeah, 3.95.160.78. And still able to scan. So I need to check back why is that happening. Okay, over that IP address. But now you can see that you will be able to send a ping request and you are able to identify that. But it should not be done that way. There should be, once the IP table rule is there, it follows the IP table rule. But maybe क्योंकि पहली वाली accept कर रहा है rule, so we need to clean it appropriately. मतलब फ्लश से अभी जो हम टेम्परेरी रूल्स बना रहे हैं सिर्फ वही फ्लश हो, मैं पुराने रूल्स भी हम चेंज करके वी कैन क्विकली मॉडिफाई दैट. सो I'll check that out. ठीक है, नाउ सो लेट्स हैव अ लुक. सो जैसे मान लो अभी आप क्या कर सकते हैं, तीसरा, यू कैन सेंड इन अ फाइल एंड यू कैन क्विकली टेक अ स्कैन. यू कैन टेक एनी फाइल एंड यू कैन क्विकली चेक व्हाट ऑल वैल्यूज आर देयर एंड ठीक है. तो उसके अंदर आप इनपुट फाइल के अंदर यू कैन डिफाइन ऑल द आईपी एड्रेसेस. ओके, लेट्स से इफ यू हैव custom set of targets available, okay, and you want to scan them, whether they are, let's say you have a list of servers, 5-20 वेबसाइट्स हैं अलग अलग, आपको ये 20 वेबसाइट्स चेक करनी है कि इनमें से कौन कौन सी अप हैं इस समय. ठीक है, so you can define the IP addresses into a list and you can define that information with an IL. So it is going to scan all the IP addresses on that list. So let's check that out. So what I'll do is, मैंने in the C drive itself. Okay, let's say I'm in the C drive. So I'm going to create a file here. Let's say I'll create a file echo. Echo. I've said this is going to be my IP address 3.95.160.78. I would like to put it into iplist.txt. Okay. So I've created a file known as iplist.txt, and if I check back, not cat, you can check back with type. So there is this information 3.95.160.78. Okay. Is that clear? Now, if you want, you can use nmap, perform a ping scan, define a list, iplist.txt, and you can start scanning. Okay. So अभी वहाँ पे जो double quote आ रहा है वो double quote हमें हटाना पड़ेगा. So we can remove the double quote by this way. Let's say what I'll do is I'll delete iplist.text once, and I'm going to do echo like this. Echo 3.this into iplist.txt, because वो double quotes के अंदर दो बार quotes आ गया था. Now if I check iplist, so I will get 3.95.160.78. Okay. Now I'm going to scan with nmap. Have a ping scan. Take an input file, and this input file is going to be list of IP address. So you can define IL, and you can define iplist.txt, and you can put a scan, and you can see that scan with the IP address 3.95.160.78 is done, and you have got the host up. Is that clear? Okay. So we can do that. So in the same way, you can have a list of IP addresses which you can define, and you can scan all of them. Okay. So in the same way, if I would like to insert something like 192.168.1.5 into IP list, okay, and if I check type IP list, so I've got 2, and I would like to enter 1.1 also into IP list, and I check, so we have got 3 IP addresses into the IP list at the moment. Okay. Now if I want to scan, nmap, perform a ping scan from an input list and define iplist.txt. And when you run, so all the 3 IP addresses will be checked, and you can see that, okay, all the 3 hosts are up. Quickly you can check back. The तीनों active hai. Is that clear? So you can read from a list of IP addresses, and you can quickly scan back those servers. Is that clear? Now, so there are various ways of performing scanning. So you've got a list of files. Then there is a reason scan as well. Okay. What is a reason scan? In a normal nmap scan, you might get a list of open ports. However, you will not know the reason why nmap reported a particular port as open. The nmap reason scan is an interesting option where nmap provides a reason for every port reported as open. Nmap scans are based on the TCP flags that are set in the request and response. In this case, the open ports were detected based on SYN and acknowledgement flags set in the TCP packets. तो आप एक reason भी define कर सकते हो, hyphen reason option, so that वो आपको right hand side में दिखा देगा कि जो port open है वो क्यों open है. Okay. So ये port scan हम करते कैसे हैं? Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. Now I'll show you one. So you can quickly define a reason scan, nmap hyphen reason, and you can define the IP address of the server, and you're going to get all the ports open and the reason why they are open. Like यहाँ से synchronize हमने भेजा, वहाँ से उसका acknowledgement आ गया, and we have identified, okay, that is open. Okay. Let's do that. So now I'll go to the server here, and I would like to scan my 3.95, And instead of -sn, I would like to define --reason. We like to perform a reason scan. So let's run that scan. So now it is trying to search for open ports on 3.95.160.78. And now you can see you have got various ports being reported here. So now you can see that it is saying there are certain ports like port number 22 is open. The service running is an SSH port. And the reason has defined that yes, we were able to send a sync request and we got an acknowledgement with a time to live of 50. So this is a surety that ये वाला जो port है वो open है. Okay, and this port number 22 is open on the remote server, and all other are being displayed as filtered. So filtered means we don't know whether it is open or not. He's not sure, but I am 100% sure that this port is not open because I am the server manager. I know कि मैंने कोई भी अभी services वहाँ पे start नहीं किए. Is that clear? तो जो भी service start होगी वो port open हमें दिखाई. तो अभी बाकी जो green color से आ रहे हैं, जो light green से आ रहे हैं, they are filtered ports, which means they are not open. And only port number 22 is open with confirmation, which is true. क्योंकि SSH port by default हमारे server पे open है. अब SSH में अगर कोई vulnerability है तो हम उस server को access कर सकते हैं, नहीं तो हम उसे hack नहीं कर सकते ऐसे. SSH port के थ्रू. फिर अगर कोई application चल रही है या हम उस application को exploit करते हैं, तब हम जाके उस server को access कर पाएंगे. Is that clear? Okay. So you can perform a reason scan as well on a remote server. Is that clear? Now what next? Let's go for the next option. So once you are done with the reason scan, now you can perform a supported protocol scan. Okay. As part of information gathering and reconnaissance, it may be worthwhile to know what IP protocols are supported by the target. Okay. So you can quickly evaluate whether the remote system identifies or can actually check whether it is supporting TCP protocol or UDP protocol or ICMP protocol, so that you will get to know what kind of attack you can perform. Okay. So you can perform supported protocol option as well, -SO, to scan a machine and to check what protocol is supported on which port. Is that clear? Let's go for it. So now we are going to perform a supported protocol scan. So you can use option S. S stands for scan and big O stands for supported protocols. We'll quickly perform a scan. And you are going to get the protocol. Okay, so a scan is being done. At the right hand side, you can see that there is a glow flow is going at the right side. So you can see that, yes, we have got protocol TCP. With TCP protocol, you can communicate that protocol. So SSH application hai, but that's a TCP protocol which is running over my server. Okay. So my server only supports TCP. अब मैं अगर उसको UDP पैकेट भेजूँ तो कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिलेगा, because there is no application listing for UDP packets there. There's an application who is listening for TCP packet, so I need to send him a TCP packet to get the appropriate response. Okay, so this is known as supported protocol scan. Now, Let's go for the next one. So after that, the next one is a firewall probe scan. So as you all can see here, in an enterprise network full of firewalls, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention systems are there. It is quite possible that your nmap scans will not only be detected but also be blocked. Okay, so there could be a firewall running, there could be a IDS intrusion detection system or an IPS intrusion prevention system running, which can detect that you are trying to scan the server and it's going to block it. Okay. Nmap offers a way to probe whether its scans are getting filtered by any intermediate device like a firewall. Okay. So it checks whether a firewall is available or not. Okay. It shows the all ports, 1000 ports which were scanned were unfiltered, hence there wasn't the presence of any filtering device. So ये अभी हमें check करना है. We are going to perform a scan for firewall probing. Okay. To perform firewall probing, you have to use the scan with the uppercase A option. So if there will be a firewall who's filtering your ports, you'll get to know that whether there is a firewall listening or not. Okay. And if you get the response as unfiltered, this means you will be sure that no, we don't have a firewall at the remote server. So no, there is no detection or prevention happening. Okay. Otherwise, क्या अगर filtered है, तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि फिर हमारे logs आ जाएं scanning के and people can reach back to us and okay. So now, we'll quickly check back the firewall scan. So in order to perform the firewall scan, we'll quickly go here and we'll do firewall probing with the -A option. Scan with a uppercase A, which is going to check and tell you whether there is a remote firewall at the server or not. Okay. So you can see that we have got certain like unfiltered posts with certain like MSRPC, NetBIOS, RSTP, MSNP, MonkeyCom, all these are filtered. This means there is a firewall before my virtual server. Okay. जो हमारा जो virtual server है उससे पहले Amazon ने एक firewall लगा रखी है जहाँ पे ये सारे पोर्ट फिल्टर हो रहे हैं. Is that clear? 990 unfiltered है post, but बाकी जो हैं like 21, 135, 139, 445 ये filtered firewall block कर रहे हैं. Is that clear? Okay. So दो cases हो सकते हैं, या तो firewall block कर रहा है या application active नहीं है. तो फिल्टर प्रोबिंग ये कहती है कि फायरवॉल है वहां, ठीक है, बट हमारे एट द एंड वर्चुअल सर्वर पे अभी कोई फायरवॉल है ऐसा नहीं. देयर इज नो फायरवॉल हियर एट द बैक एंड. ओके. सो दोनों ही आपको स्कैन करके चेक करके हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू ड्रॉप इनटू अ रिमोट सर्वर वो आपको चेक करना. ओके. देन इट्स गोइंग टू बी इजी फॉर यू. नाउ लेट्स से so you're done with firewall scan when you got that maybe certain filters are there. Then there is a topology option here. With Zenmap, you have an interesting feature that helps you visualize the network topology. So if you have done a ping scan on the subnet and found a few hosts alive, you can quickly show the network topology diagram for the host that you found alive. The diagram can be accessed using the topology tab within the Zenmap interface. Okay. So there's a topology tab here using which you can quickly identify what all hosts and servers are available. Okay. So you can see that यहाँ पे अभी हमने एक स्कैन परफॉर्म किया है. ये सब hosts हैं, ठीक है, उनकी कुछ informations हैं. Okay, so you have the controls as well as you can do the fisheye. So with this fisheye, now you can have this. ठीक है, इस तरीके से आप क्विकली देख सकते हैं कि आपका लोकल होस्ट है, आपने जिस सर्वर को भी स्कैन किया है वो सर्वर किस रेंज में है और कौन कौन से अदर डिवाइसेस हैं जो एक ही नेटवर्क के अंदर हैं. So you can have that complete diagram. You can quickly put one at the center and you can see that. Okay. So you can make a topology diagram and then you can work out on the topology diagram that, okay, I'm a local machine and I'm trying to communicate to 3 point some server as well as 34.226. So you can make a host topology diagram quickly. Okay, with Zenmap, so as to identify what all targets are there and what all we have to scan. Okay, is that clear? Now, so you can quickly save the graphic image as well. So you can click on save graphic and you can define the name. Okay, so hosts scanned. So when you have to go and show your PPT report or anything like that, so you can quickly go and you can show to your, let's define it as PNG. Okay, so I'm going to get a file with the name hosts scanned.png. Okay, so this is the file we have got, hosts scanned.png. So now if you're in a presentation, you can show that, okay, I'm the local host and I connected with various different servers. Okay, so as to extract the information out. Clear? So there are a few more scans which are available over here, which we will be exploring tomorrow onwards. So we'll quickly proceed towards TCP scan and other scans so that you will be able to understand how you can figure out the information of a remote server. Okay. So that's all for the day. We'll continue tomorrow from quick TCP scan. There will be other good scans like idle scan, wherein the server doesn't get to know that there is a service or there is a port running. Okay. We'll continue from TCP scan tomorrow. Thank you so much for being available. Thank you so much for watching.